Hello, algebra students. Welcome to Chapter 2, Section 6. Here we go. Ratios, rates, and conversions. Please, if you have not written this down, and you should, because here is your topic. Ratios, rates, and conversions. It starts on page 116 in your book. It is Chapter 2, Section 6. So go ahead, if you have not yet written your name on your notes, please do that. Hopefully you know your hour, and write down the date as well so you can keep your nice notes ordered in a nice, reasonable fashion here. So we have several vocabulary to talk about first, and that'll probably take one video in itself, and it'll probably sound more confusing than it actually is. But when we get into the examples, hopefully in the follow-up videos, I'll try to make it fit in together. This is a really valuable tool for us, and it's also something we see around us everywhere in the world, and it's quite beneficial for you to understand as well. Not just for me in this class, but again for understanding the world around you and things that are happening. So let's jump right into things here. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Let's go back to that. Here we go. First word to uncover for you. Please write that word down, rate, in the left-hand column. It's a vocabulary word that we will wrestle with here. A rate, now over here on the right-hand side, that's where I'm going to write the definition for you and where you should have it. A rate is a ratio that compares quantities measured in two different units or in different units. Okay, keyword different units there. That's really our key phrasing for us. So what in the world does that mean? Well, here's an example. Let's say I went 320 miles per 4 hours. Okay, so if I went 320 miles per 4 hours, these are different. Okay, that is a measure of distance. This is a measure of time. So what does that mean for us? That means we're comparing two different units here. Okay, and that is a rate. Okay, it's a ratio, and we would actually write it like this, and this is important for you to have down. 320 miles, division sign, fraction bar, 4 hours. Okay, so when you hear the word per in math, usually you can make that a fraction bar. 320 miles per 4 hours. 320 miles divided by 4 hours. Per. Stick in the word per. I know that looks like I wrote poor. It's supposed to be an E. My ink here on my home computer is not quite as nice to me as my ink on my school computer. Okay, 320 miles per 4 hours because it's a different unit. That is a rate. Okay, another example, if you go to the store and you pay, let's say, $1.32, just making this up, for 8 ounces of something, that is a rate because you have money, okay, compared to weight or mass of something. Okay, so you're comparing different units. You're wanting to know dollars per 8 ounces, or you know that in this case. So wherever you hear the word per, and the units are different, that is what a rate is. Okay, such as like words per minute if you're typing. Okay, if you're putting grass in your yard and you want to know how many ounces per square foot of yard, that would be a rate. But again, on this words one here I wrote, in math we like to write it like that, words per minute. Okay, so we need a dotted line there wherever you finished up, some kind of barrier or break up here so you know you have a different word here. And the next word that we're going to talk about is the word unit rate. Unit rate. Okay, a unit rate is a rate with a denominator of 1. A rate with a denominator of 1. Okay, well, if the denominator is 1, that would be like if I said 25 miles per 1 hour. That's a unit rate because that's a 1. Now, it's a rate because it's miles per hour. Okay, it's miles per 1 hour. Or if I said I paid $2.99 for 1 pound. Okay, so that denominator has to be 1 for it to be unit rate. So when you hear miles per gallon, miles per hour, dollars per ounce, and it's just per with the label, that's a unit rate because it usually means you're paying or having per 1 of that. Okay, 25 miles per hour, $2.99 per pound. Okay, so let's get on down here to the third word, and we'll get into how to figure all this out, how to figure out unit rates after a while. The next word they talk about in 2.6 is conversion factor. This is not as confusing as it's going to sound. Just get it down. We'll get it worked out soon. A conversion factor, is basically a ratio of two equal measures with different units, and it's always equal to 1. This will all probably make more sense when we get into the examples soon. But hit pause and make sure you're getting all these vocabulary down as we go here, because I'm going to just keep talking, assuming you're stopping, writing down, right? That's important, and it'll help me keep the times down on these videos, hopefully. Okay, so conversion factors, two equal measures with different units. So here's what we mean by this. Let's say I said 1 foot per 12 inches. Just abbreviate. 1 foot per 12 inches. Now think about that. What do you know about 1 foot and 12 inches? They're the same distance, right? 1 foot, 12 inches, the same thing. But this is written like a rate because they have feet and inches here. Okay, and we know that if 1 foot is the same as 12 inches, think about it like this. What number do you always have when you have the same thing over itself? Okay, like 1 foot and 12 inches, it's the same. So really, that really is the value of 1 because 1 foot and 12 inches are the same. That's a conversion factor. And we can take it when it's written this way and multiply it just like it's a fraction 1 over 12. And that's part of what we're learning to do today. Here's another one you know, 60 seconds per 1 minute. Ooh. Same thing, right? That's really the value of 1. So if I were to multiply that 60 seconds over 1 minute times something, and we can do that, and that's part of what we're learning, you're really multiplying by the number 1, and you're not changing what you have. Okay, another one, here just to be crazy, 36 inches per 1 yard. 36 inches is the same thing as 1 yard. So that is equal to the value of 1 because they are equal. Okay, so put down a dotted line and let's see if we can wrap up the vocabulary here. The last piece, okay, again, this one you'll see more when we get into the examples here soon, but it's called unit analysis. And I think this is really valuable. I teach this in my college class. I teach it this way because if you learn this method, okay, you can apply this to so many different things. There it is. Okay, the process of using units in calculations to find units for your solution. Sounds confusing. It's not when you get in and see how it works. Just get it down. And let me show you a quick example of how that might work. Let's pretend that you were asked to figure out 72 inches is equal to how many feet. Now please don't go ahead and answer it. I don't care if you know what the answer is. Let's just pretend that you don't know how to do this because it's going to be better for us. I'll tell you the answer. The answer is 6, okay? But let's pretend we don't know. Let's pretend we don't know that that's the answer. I just want to give you a quick demonstration of unit analysis, and then we'll get into more detail of that in the next video. If we say 72 inches, now unit analysis means actually write the labels down on the problem. 72 inches over 1, and I multiply that times, I want this to be the number 1, and I want it to be a conversion factor, And if I know that 12 inches is equal to 1 foot. Okay, so notice how I wrote the labels in there. And if I cancel out, just like when I cancel out common factors when I multiply, I can cancel out those labels. Inches divided by inches cancels each other out. So now I have feet here. Okay, so I have basically taken that conversion, okay, from 72 inches and turned it into 72, because 72 times 1 is 72. 1 times 12 is 12. I have 72. Now the inches have canceled out, and there's your feet. And if you divide that out, you get 6 feet. Now we're going to get more into that in the next video, but that's an example of unit analysis, and I think it's really valuable for you. So practice it. To be continued.